Hi everyone, especially to our instructor, Sir Markham Reveal. This time, me, Rachel Manlangit, and Venus Capara will be going to discuss or to tackle this lesson 15 entitled Gender-Based Violence, Survivor, Victim, Perpetrator, and Human Rights. First, we have the lesson objectives. The first one is understand the definition of gender-based violence, other related terms and its forms and consequences. Understand gender-based violence as human rights issues. Third is determine the relationship between human rights and gender-based violence. And the last one is differentiate perpetrators, survivors, and victims in gender-based violence. Introduction. Gender-based violence is one of the most widespread and human rights abuses, but least recognized in the world. So it refers to any harm perpetrated against a person's will on the basis of gender. The socially described differences between males and females. According to the study of Sigal et al. 2013, gender-based violence has devastating consequences not only for victims but also for society as a whole. And then, according also to Loy et al. 1999, and the Philippines, gender-based violence has clearly been in the realm of women's human rights over the past decades. Prior to 1993, most governments regarded violence against women are largely as a private matter between individuals. According to USAID 2009, gender-based violence experienced by women and girls refers to battering and other forms of intimate partner violence, including this marital rape, sexual violence, dowry-related violence. The example of that dowry-related violence are it is a serious problem that affects the life of a woman and a girls. So, for example, offenders may use violence disguised as suicides or accidents, such as stove or kerosene disasters, to burn or kill women for failing to meet dowry demands. So, for example, nais ka ng anang mga violente nga mga bana, and then di sila magkasinabot sa makita sila like makauna-una sila kuan suicidal kulatahon nila ilang partner or sabligan baron or kuan other just to kill women for failing to meet their the dowry demands. And then the next one is the female infanticide. Sa kanang female infanticide, mo na siya ang the deliberate killing of a newborn female children. So, female children, babae nga bata. So, ang kanang female infanticide daw, mo na siya ang major cause of concern in several nations such as kasagaran sa China, India, and Pakistan. So, ginaano nila as a modern practice of gender selective abortion. So, for example, kung ang Chinese government is naga-introduce sila og one child policy. So, when the Chinese government introduced that, there was a surge in a female infanticide. So, mao na siya ang ma-result. Mao na siya nabilong sa violence. But only in ano lang sa kasagaran sa kana lang na mga nations, mga countries. And then the next one is honor crimes. So kanang honor crimes are acts of violence, usually murder, attempted murder, driving to suicide, makano na siya suicide, gang rape, or kidnapping. So kanang honor crimes, man siya ang ano po na siya sa honor based violence in all its forms. Mo to akong giingon such as murder, attempted murder, kidnapping, or rape, and others. The next one is early marriage, forced marriage. So kanang sayo kaminyoon or kanang gipapugos sa imong minyo isa ka tao ingana. Kuan gyapon na siya, abuse gyapon na siya, mabulong gyapon na siya sa violence among women. And then sa kanang next one, sa female genital cutting and other traditional practices harmful to women. So kana siya, I have some example for that. Like this, vaginal, sila, sa kanang eradicating female genital mutilation or cutting. So kuan gyapon na siya sa human rights kay first ana sa ako ang pagsabot ani nga picture is kanang ang ari sa babae is kuan siya kanang gitanggalan siya tapos sa ikaduha ay sa pinakauna gitanggalan siya unod na din sa sunod mo ning kanang makakita mo color red mo na siya kay tungod na sa gitanggal nga unod, and then sa ikatulo mo na ni siya, and then pagkahuman nawala na din gitahi siya, gibinlan lang siya og kanang siguro sa pag-ihi mo na siya, kuan gyapon ni siya, mabilong gihapon ni siya sa harmful sa woman kay kuan man gud ni siya kanina mga kasagaran ni kaning female genital kasagaran na mo gud siya sa kuan kanang sa kanang mga traditional na siya sa uban na mga ano. Then ang continuation sa sexual harassment in the workplace and educational institutions. So sa kana siya mo ang example ana is kanang nakasaka trabaho nya na ay lalaki na ay there's a man na lalaki nga kanang kuanon bitaw ka ay haras bitaw ka like dili nimo gusto nya kanang kuanon ka pers anang mulabay ka nya kuanon imong lubot kanang kuhiton or sa diraa maapil gyapon na siya as sexual harassment, especially sa workplace like sa kanang mga sekretary ug maangayan sa amo na di ba kanang ginaharas sila. And then of course educational institutions like for sa eskwelahan pers anang kuan gyapon siya kanang sa bullying apil gyapon na siya, harassment gyapon na siya. Next is the commercial sexual exploitation. Sa kana naman po siya, ang example ana is kanang sa mga bata, children. So naga-refers na siya sa range of crime and activities involving the sexual abuse or exploitation of a child for the financial benefit of any person or in exchange for anything of value, including monetary benefits given or received by any person. So kanang commercial sexual exploitation, commercial ka, gibaligya ka through sa kanang nana basta ana, and then nung murag ibaligya ka like for example naman siya uban ginikanan ingon ana pero wala, it doesn't mean nga ay na siya sa general dili pod kuan siya kanang example din ani sa mga bata kana bitang ginabaligya sa inahan na para lang makakwarta, para makapantawid kuan ana na apil gyapon na siya sa sexual exploitation kay bayaran man ka gamiton imong anak niya bayaran na kwarta kay ang giingon diri maka-benefits sa any person or in exchange for anything of value. And then next is trafficking of girls and women. So sa kanang women and girls usually trafficked for the purpose of sexual and economic exploitation sa kalisod siguro. Then particularly muna nang uban babae mag prostitution, sa pornography, forced labor, muna siya, including for work in commercial agriculture and domestic work, and arranged marriages or to be sold as a brides, ginabaligya ka sa imong ginikanan, ibaylo ka. Recruitment for participation in hostilities. So sa kanang trafficking of girls, of women, like anang sa sa kanang kuan bitaw, kanang like anang na mga sa online ka chat kaniyan ana nya, or mangwarta sila through online, tapos makakuan po na siya ang apil po ang pornography, sa forced labor kanang gipanghimo sila kanang katabang nga na. And the next is violence perpetrated against domestic workers. So sa kani siya, for example ana is kanang naga-include pud na siya og physical and psychological ug sexual abuse, food deprivation, forced confinement, and trafficking into forced labor. So mo na to akong giingon, siya apil gyapon siya sa violence kanang for example sa physical, psychological, and sexual abuse, kanang gina-abuse na ka. And then next consequences of gender-based violence. There are health consequences, social consequences, economic consequences. So first is the health consequences. So naga-include ni siya unwanted pregnancies, complications from unsafe abortions, sexually transmitted infections, including HIV injuries, mental health, and psychosocial effects. Muna na siya ang depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress, suicide, and death. So kana siya, makaproblema gyapon na siya sa woman, like anang unwanted pregnancy, o kanang nagkaroon siya o kanang komplikasyon sa kanang pagpapunit, dili safe. And then sexually transmitted na natakdan, makadaot ka na sa health, like anang makipag sexual intercourse ka sa bisan kinsa. And then injuries, makagana pa siya sa health, mental sa atong pangunahuna, and psychosocial effects. So mo na siya ang depression, di nakaganahan maganya, makafeel na kag anxiety, post-traumatic stress, and then suicide, makanon na nakag-suicide, or kanang magkuan na lang ko nga na makapekto gyapon na siya sa ato ang health. And then next is the social consequences. So sa kaning social consequences extend to families and communities. Ang families can also be stigmatized as a consequence of gender-based violence. So sa kanang social economic. In addition to that is violence exposure has been shown to contribute to mental health problems during childhood and adolescence. So psychiatric disorders including depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder, so mga ginatawag PTSD, so are found a higher rates among youth exposed to community violence. So tungod ana dili na ganahan ang bata or ang babae, or nga dili na siya ganahan makipag-socialize kay tungod naapektuhan iyang health, ka-feel na siya stress, depressed, anxiety, ana daghan na kay siya nakuan tungod sa kanang tungod sa women, sa violence among women, or dili lang po siya sa kuan dapoy. And the next is the economic consequences. So kani siya naga-include ni siya og the cost of public health and social welfare systems and the reduced ability of many survivors to participate in social and economic life. So sa kani siya na nakapaloob diri is ang poverty and socio-economic inequality. So they are both causes and consequences of economic abuse. And then poor women are more likely to be dependent on their male partners. As such, dependency can be used as a tactic to control women, and this situation may lead to abuse. So for example, ang bana lang ang naningkamot, tapos ang babae na lang sa balay nga asawa nga mo nang ginakuan sa kanang sa bana sa lalaki nga gina-control niya yung asawa, or gina-abuse niya kay tungod true lang sa verbal or sa kuan nga mean ka nga inaon nimo nga anaon nimo imong asawa, imong partner, kulatahon nimo kay tungod ikaw nang ginabuhi, ikaw nang itag kwarta, so dili na siya pwede. makaapekto na siya sa health, social ug sa kanang economic consequences. That's all for my assigned topic. So the following the next topic will be going to discuss by Venus Capara. Thank you for listening.